Hey everyone. Well, it's recording this video. It's Thursday, August 29th, 2024. And it's been 74 days. Now, I'm not doing the video. I don't know how I should preface this or why I'm even doing the video, how to explain it to everybody, but the last 74 days hasn't been that easy. And there's been a lot going on. And to say that I haven't been changed by this, that my family hasn't been changed by this, would not only be a lie, but would be such an understatement to what things have been like the last 74 days. To recap, I guess, for maybe some people that might be stepping into this video at some point in time, whether it's here in August or next 6 months, next year, 5 years from now, I guess an introduction would be that my name is Chad, and I am the owner and operator of CK Knife and Tools. I've ran a YouTube channel for about 7-10 years, something like that, and most of it incorporated different types of knives and things that I've made for people and companies and organizations. And then I also turned it into a bit of a vlog and took people along as my family and I traveled and did certain things, whether it was back in Washington where originally came from or here in Wyoming. It encompasses the move to Wyoming, my family and I rebuilding the shop here where I sit right now in Gillette, Wyoming, and all the things that we've gone through for the most part as a family. It kind of became more of a lifestyle channel than it did just a company channel, as it started before with just CK Knife and Tool. And earlier, right around the January of 2024, I was doing a lot of reflection on things, and I actually got some advice from a YouTuber. I kind of jokingly call them the first family of YouTube, and that was the Carrickers, Matt and his wife Mare. Matt, is some people might know as Demolition Ranch. Matt changed his channel over a while back from Off the Ranch to just Matt Carricker because it was no longer just like Off the Ranch. He's always doing things, and he explains about that in the video. But I took his advice, and knowing that my channel itself and my company has been struggling the last couple of years, I've gone off and gotten a part-time job that led to full-time. Then I had to step away from that to help with my dad's stuff that when he was having problems. I ended up beginning of this year taking Matt's advice and changing the channel over to just my name. And it still can be searched under YouTube and otherwise as CK Knife and Tool, but it's now just Chad Kernan. And that is a pivot in what may or may not work out to being a good channel. I don't know right now. Being on day 74 since my son passed away, I'm not really sure what my future holds and what the future of CK Knife and Tool will be like. My son was a passenger in an automobile accident where the vehicle overturned and he was killed. It happened right here next to our home. We live out more in an open area and fields and stuff where your neighbor could be, several hundred yards away or miles away. We live somewhat in that environment, but he died just right down the road here. And every day when we leave our home, we have to drive past it. We contacted a neighbor that owns a portion of that property that Ben died on, and he graciously gave us permission to erect a memorial and do stuff for both us and our neighbors, as well as Ben and Ella's friends. And then family that was here visiting, we did a lot there to beautify it. And some of Ben's friends do occasionally come by. They'll put flowers out or something like that, or just little trinkets and things like that. So it's worked out well to have that. But everybody deals with everything in life differently. Some of us deal with stress differently than others, traumatic events and so on. And my background in law enforcement and the Marine Corps, and again, I didn't do anything fancy in the Marine Corps. I wasn't some, high-speed, low-drag operator. I was a motor T. And I didn't have a 20-year career in the military or anything like that. Not anything like that. I had a pretty boring career, a little lifestyle in the Marine Corps for a brief period of time. And then I got back into construction again, and then ultimately was going to night school and became a police officer. And I was a sheriff's deputy and a police officer for 10 years before stepping away from that and homeschooling the kids and just doing what we're doing now. But with that said, a lot of folks that have been around following for several years have kind of known all that already, but I just wanted to say all that and go through this preface because there might be new people here. I didn't know, and I still don't know, what's going to happen with CK Knife and Tool. I've been busying myself with some little projects on Ruby, my truck. Many of you also know that I did a lot of camping and overlanding, traveling with the family and with some friends. And I was starting a build series on Ruby, which is my 2018 Ram 2500. It's a 6.7 liter diesel. I had a Nissan Titan for several years and did stuff with Nissan USA and some other things. And I built a nice little rig like that, but ultimately ended up selling Trip and moving on to Ruby. That me and the kids named her because it's the truck's kind of it's called Delmonico Red. I've been busying myself with that build because it's something that Ben and I would always talk about doing. We would share text messages with email links or video links about certain things, and then ultimately we would talk about, he wanted to buy a 2019-2020 Ram 2500. His favorite color was green, but we talked about how hard it was to find that color green that Ram made with that. And I think the only thing keeping me from keeping Ruby right now is that I can't find a green Ram 2500, the 6.7 liter diesel, the extended cab like that, like Ben wanted. And I'd probably buy that if I could, because I know that was Ben's color. He's got a Jeep Cherokee that Ella is now going to keep, and it was a green, called it Loki. Like his old pickup truck he bought from my dad was Thor. Kind of comical spin-off. Yeah, we do name our vehicles. I know it's kind of corny sometimes, but we do that and got into it years ago. Ben and I talked about a lot of stuff with my truck and what he would do with his, and so we were talking. I'm like, you know what, bud, if I can afford it, and we'll do it. We'll slowly work on my truck and learn some of the things that he liked and I kind of like too. It's always more mechanical stuff, more reliability things. And I'll do it with mine, and then next year in 2025, when you buy yours, and we can do it with yours. So I've actually found solace and comfort doing that with my truck. One of his friends, Emmett, came by. You remember Emmett? If you guys have been watching the channel, he's one of the goofballs that was here during our General's Hot Sauce testing and everything, our little video there. Emmett came by and helped me out a little bit. His buddy Landon has come by before too and kind of hung out a little bit and did some things in the shop with me. But I've been finding some solace and comfort in doing that with the truck. And then my dad had been buying wood. He wanted to do cutting boards, and so we started putzing around in the shop here a couple hours a day. just doing like trying our hand at making cutting boards. There's been a couple of times I've tried to start back on knives again. I've been unsuccessful in doing it. People that are artistic and creative would understand that if you don't have your mind in something, if your mind's not right, then it's really hard to complete that task. And I guess it would go towards anything. For the most part, I would definitely say that there's things that you could probably do that you could do without the thought or the worries that you might have, like myself. But also what brings a struggle in is all the knives that are sitting here in my shop right now. Before Ben went to work for the company he was working with, UELS, land survey company, he was in the shop for a few months with me working on knives. And we worked on a lot of knives together, and he used to tease me because he was good at knife making. He made several knives. He made 3 knives before he was even 16 years old. He already made 3 knives, and he'd sold those. And he wasn't a knife maker, but between 14 and 16, making 3 knives and selling them and being a very nice knife, that's something to be said. He was good at it. He was really good at doing everything by hand. He would learn. He wasn't afraid to learn. YouTube's your friend. But he was always active in the garage here with his buddies doing stuff, whether it was Mark and Braden or Landon or Emmett. They were here in the shop doing stuff from time to time, putzing around on things. So all the knives I have right now that I have to either work on or finish, they were all knives that Ben started for me, and he would tease me because he wouldn't do blade profiles. He didn't want to do a blade profile, and even though he could practice with it, he just didn't want to, especially when it was for a customer. So he would turn around and he would shape the knife, drill the holes in the tang, do the choil, surface grind it, get everything done, even dike them the edges. And then all I had to do was scribe it, do the blade profile, and then I would turn it back over to him, and then he would hand sand the blade and get it ready for heat treat. So one of the last things we were doing in the shop when we were finishing up, he was also working on at the time he was dating this one girl, and he was working on her knife too. And we were working on my knives and his knife all at the same time and doing it all, but he would sit back and he was texting with somebody, I think Kyler at the time, and I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm all finished." I said, "What do you mean you're finished?" He said, "I did all of his part," which meaning he got it all done. They're all in a box ready to go for me to blade profile. He says, "I'm just waiting on you, old man." So that was kind of funny. But I know I'm babbling on a little bit, but be patient with me here. The reason why I decided to do this video, and maybe others coming after this one, is I've just didn't know how else to cope or deal with things, and not being able to do all the things that you can do. Tasha's gone back to work, although it's been tough, but as she said, there's not a lot that reminds her of Ben when she's at work. Ella went back to her part-time job, and again, she'd only been there a couple of days before Ben's passing. There's nothing there that reminds her of Ben. Whereas my life's a little different. My part-time job for over 2 years, I worked for that company. Whether it was part-time, full-time management, Ben would stop by all the time and hang out. He would actually even help me. I would be on the phone talking to a guest, and there'd be somebody needing answers. He would actually help those people that were waiting for me and show them through the store where things were at and what they needed. So he would go there for the 2.5 years that I worked there. This shop I'm sitting in right now, if many of you have followed the channel long enough, when my kids and I first pulled up into our driveway, this was nothing but a big empty building with a dirt floor, and my daughter and my son and I were primarily responsible for what this shop looks like right now. My wife and my kids helped me do this little wall here. The table I'm sitting at was done with myself and a friend of mine from the Army, Calvin. But the drywall we farmed out, and the concrete we farmed out. We had help with electric and plumbing, but we did a good portion of that ourselves. But we did all the painting, we did all the insulation, we did all the framing. We did all the moving and the hanging of metal. We did the entire upstairs loft with the floor joists and the plywood and everything. Hung doors, did windows, did metal siding. The entire building I'm sitting in right now is a memory of my son and what we did together. And as Kasha had said shortly after Ben's passing, is she's so happy I did those videos, because we can go back as a family or individually go back and find those videos and see the videos that Ben was in, even when he didn't really want to be in a video and he was around there in the background or in the periphery. Or on social media, there's photos and pictures of him and his knives that he's made in the past, the ones when he was younger and he made it for John Stearns and his wife. Those videos are there, and they'll always be there so long as we have internet and society in general. In a roundabout way, in a very long roundabout way, which I apologize for, that's the reason why I'm doing today's video, is not just a time capsule in a way, but after having talked to my pastors and just this weird feeling, just this feeling I've had, I know I'm going to struggle through all this, and it's going to be harder. Maybe once I start doing these, it might become easier, and I might be able to clean up the video or give better quality. I'm literally just in shorts, and it was 49 degrees this morning, and we had some windows open, so it was chilly. So I literally just threw on a fleece zip up, a hat, and I'm wearing slip-on shoes and shorts. Cleaned up the table a little bit, and I just thought I wanted to come out to do this video. It's nothing fancy, nothing out of the ordinary. Maybe I can fine-tune things, make them better. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't put a lot of effort into it simply because it's already a struggle to figure out how and what I'm going to say. But I don't know why, but I think that not only doing videos like this might help me deal with what I'm dealing with right now, but maybe somebody else might start finding the videos comforting, enlightening, something. Yeah, I have a hard time, and I think talking to one of my Marine brothers, who y'all might have remembered, Craig. There's a couple of days I called him, and I was a hot mess. It was tough, but I was talking about certain things and stuff in general, and I guess even in law enforcement, I've seen a lot of things, and some people that I worked with used to call me a poop magnet, because it seemed like I was always in the middle of something, or I ended up always getting or seeing bad things. I've seen traumatic events. I've experienced traumatic events. I've experienced the loss of coworkers. I've been there, right there at the moment, at the loss of coworkers. But I've always had an ability, I guess, or some way of compartmentalizing things. And maybe in law enforcement, it's like that. I've always had the ability to do that kind of thing, and maybe it's the personality of someone that's in the military and law enforcement that we can do that. But after the loss of Ben, I've had a lot of stuff come back and bother me. And I guess too, it's not fair to just say it's me, because as I understand it, there is a lot of time when you lose someone or something happens to you, you're going to have to try to keep your composure. I mean, you hear a song, you see a TV show, something, and it just breaks you. And I get that a lot. I get it a lot. And so I'm having a hard time with that. So in talking to my pastor and Greg having kind of let me know that I probably am not only just the fact of what's happening now, but things in the past. I'm having a little bit of a PTSD kind of thing going on here, and not really familiar with all of it, even though I'd studied psychology for quite a while. I've never delved into PTSD or other things, or hidden traumatic events, or suppressed traumatic events is a better term for it. But I would have to say now, after day 74, and everything that I'm experiencing, I'm learning a lot. And that takes me to the video here, in that I decided I'm going to try to do videos about certain things regarding what I've experienced and everything that's going on. And maybe it'll help somebody, or maybe it'll just help me and all of you. And my viewership is already pretty much in the tank. So I don't think this will hurt I don't think this will hurt anything, but maybe it'll help someone. Maybe it'll give them some solace to know that they're not alone. I want to say hello to Tori. He's someone I befriended, never met. We've just conversed back and forth, and he is a few months ahead of me in regards to this type of experience. So I want to give Tori a big shout out, because I just appreciate him extending the olive branch, extending a hand, and helping me with this. I'm not sure how long or short of a format these videos will be. I don't know if I'll make anything live. I think more or less it's just going to be me talking a little bit about what's going on, and maybe helping people. Maybe I'll have notes next time, and I'll be a little bit better prepared. Even though I've always had a hard time reading off of notes, I'm just more off the cuff kind of guy. But ultimately, maybe I'm just doing this because I'm trying to be selfish, and I'm trying to find some consolation, some solace, some peace. And this might be the way I get my peace. So for those that might not be interested in anything like this, that might be more negative or not as such a positive topic, I can't apologize, because I mean it to be this way. Some videos will probably be funnier or more jovial, but I'm hoping that maybe I'll have some videos that would help people move on. I'll leave the comment section open below so people can comment or leave questions, and maybe I can use those questions to address in the next video. I'll come up with scenarios or situations, or just how I'm doing and how my family's doing. I can tell you now, both Kasha and Ella have no interest at all being part of these videos. Neither one of them are very video-ish to begin with, and discussing this and doing this type of format or situation is definitely nothing they're even interested in. So it's just going to be me, unless somebody else wanted to join me and talk to me about loss or stuff like that, or just to have conversations about things in general. I don't know what this title is going to be named. I don't know what playlist or what format it's going to be put under, but I'm just going to say thank you if you're part of this journey and everything. If you do have questions or comments, like I said, leave them down below. If you're new to the channel, I suggest please go look at the Benjamin's playlist. I created a playlist, a small one, with just some videos. I actually never went through it and finished it, but there are some videos there, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about or what's going on. Peruse through the playlist just to see what we're about, what my channel's about. But going forward, it's not going to be just Seek a Knife and Tool anymore, and that's why it's been renamed. I'm not sure how long this will last, or what else the company or the channel might be. The website's still closed for knife purchases. There's mugs, hot sauce to buy. I have that to fulfill. You can buy t-shirts and hats and hoodies and beanies. They're fulfilled through Bunker Branding. So to support me, that's one way of doing it, is to find something. If there's any homeless knives on sale right now, they'll be listed. But as of right now, there is still no orders, custom orders going out. And like I said, I haven't made a knife since the week before Ben's passing, or 2 weeks before Ben's passing. I haven't touched a knife since. I've tried, but I couldn't do it yet. So I'm hoping this week I'll get back into it again. Maybe this is the other reason just doing this will help me with that. So, anyhow, I do appreciate all the support. I mean, so many of you have reached out to me on social media, emails, text messages, and such, showing support, and I appreciate it so much. There's a small group of people I've talked with weekly, and a big shout out to Greg, having been there for me when I called, and Keith. No matter what time of the day it was or what they were doing, Greg literally is answering the phone, pulling over on the highway on I-5 to talk to me. Keith, being able to just stop and do everything and talk with me, or do Marco Polos. My cousin Eric as well, being able to be there to do Marco Polos or something with me. So I appreciate all that. And the family that came out to visit, so many of them surprised me by coming out within just moments notice. In 72 hours, they're making plans and driving out here from several states. So we'll see. I'll try to keep you up to speed on what's going on. I have a video that's going to be coming out that was recorded the week before Ben's passing. I did 3 videos at that time period. One came out the Sunday before he passed. One came out that Sunday after, which I thought I'd blocked. I thought I'd pulled, but I didn't. And then there's a third video that hasn't been released yet, and that was filmed back, like I said, the first week of June, I think it was, that I filmed the video right before Ben's passing. So I'm going to be in different spirits, a different mood. You're going to see the tent and some other stuff, but it's there. I'll just release it at some point. And then I had a follow-up video that I recorded shortly after, I shouldn't say shortly after Ben's passing, but it was a few weeks ago. It was about the Jet drum sander. Comparing those 2 videos are definitely black and white. You'll be able to tell by how I am in each one of those videos. One's a pre-Ben video, the one's a post-Ben video. But those will be coming out shortly. This probably will be coming out before those 2. And then we'll see what happens from there on. But I'll probably just do a big video dump, and I'll put this out, and then those other 2 videos will probably go out at the same time. But we'll see. But again, appreciate it. This is long enough and unedited. There's nothing to edit, so this is a longer video. So I'm sorry about that. But with that being said, sorry again. I'll cut this short. I will try to be better spirited, more lively. Not as much of a Debbie Downer in the next several videos, but again, if there's questions or comments, anything you'd like to hear about, leave them down below. I would appreciate that. If you want to check out the other videos to get more familiar with my family and I, do that please. At least watch Ben's memorial. I did. I would appreciate that. And we'll see you in the next video, gang. So until then, you take it easy. Bye.